Thank you for hosting me. First of all,
Oh, you're welcome. Very
uh,
welcome.
I'm really thrilled to talk in front of friends here because I see a lot of familiar names in the chat. Hopefully, you will get something out of this because it's not an advanced session, but it's a session which is not necessarily for beginners because we should know some tools, and if we don't know now, we'll find out about them. So thank you all for joining, and hopefully everybody will get at least something new out of this session. For whoever doesn't know me, my name is Cristian Angyal. Angyal means angel in Hungarian. So I'm a bit of a magician, Chris Angel, if you know the magician. Well, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I have an electrical engineering background. I've been working in engineering, project management, and now lately in the last few years in IT. Uh, I went ever since I found out about the power tools. I switched to data field and learned more and more and got some certifications. Since 2021, I'm the founder of Romania Power BI Modern Excel User Group, and since last year, I'm on Excel MVP. So even if I'm on Excel MVP, I'm talking about Power BI now. The session plan for today, really straightforward. We will be talking about
Oh no, I think he's froze.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh no, he'll be coming back. It is like you said, Donald. So many Power BI people have engineering backgrounds, either business or engineering, I think is the general thing.
It's the law for numbers.
It is. It's the low. It is the low. It is because it's such an organized profession, isn't it? Engineering. I've worked a lot with engineers over many years, and I'm looking forward to one of the sessions that Juliana's bringing in because she's working with Primavera data in P6, which is a project management scheduling. He's back.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm back. It was my internet. Hello.
You had to listen.
Is my screen still shared?
Yes, your screen's still shared.
Well,
don't worry, I was able to gloss over smoothly.
I was just connecting through my hotspot just to make sure this is not happening again. I don't know what happened. Sorry for that.
Way. Oh no, don't worry. Here you go. Over to you.
So, as I was starting to say, the name of the session is Let End User Drive, but it's a bit of a tricky name because the session itself it's mostly about us and us as Power BI developers offering flexibility for the end users by knowing and applying certain tools and techniques in Power BI reports in such a way that we can satisfy all kinds of end user requirements. So as you probably all know, end users can have lots of additional requirements on different reports, and it's up to us as Power BI developers to cater for that and then have the necessary tool in our toolbox to satisfy all the requirements and allow for full flexibility. And then I will be doing a demo, mostly a demo. I'm not having many slides here, and the demo will be based on some real world data. I think I forgot to tell you guys I'm working now in IT. I just said I'm working in IT, but I'm working in IT in a manufacturing company in Romania, in an electronic manufacturing services company. So it's a mix. I'm doing the link between world, and the demo will be based on some very simplified real world data. So, as I said, it's all about flexibility. And there are two types of flexibilities. One provided by Microsoft, which is ever since 2 years ago, Microsoft allowed us as Power BI developers to let the end users customize the visuals we have to know what the end users can customize, and we have to know how to allow or restrict full access to the customizations, because if you think about it, letting the end users customize any visual looks like a good thing, right? In general, but it isn't, because in the end users are also they have the possibility to change even measures inside visuals, and they can create all kind of reports that they can change entirely the report. So it's up to us to know how to restrict and limit the possibilities of visualizations. For this, I won't go into details with the allowing end users to customize the visuals. I'm only showing you as a PowerPoint here in the options menu. We have on the report settings, we have this personalized visuals check. So we can allow it, but checking this will allow the end users to modify everything. Then on the second level, on the page level, we have another option. If we go to format pane, we have a personalized visuals that we can limit only on that specific page, how to limit. There is an additional thing that we can use to restrict the personalizations, which are called perspectives, and I'm not going into details. We only have to know about it, and we can search them. I think I already have a reference at the end on the reference slide. And then there is the other type of flexibility by request, where us as Power BI developers, we need to apply certain tools and techniques and features that Power BI is having in such a way that the end users needs are satisfied. Tools like field parameters or disconnected tables or calculation groups or external sources for data source, and you will see what I'm talking about with external sources. What if parameters? I know they are called numeric parameters now, but I've learned them like what if parameters, and I'm still keeping the name. So don't judge me. I'm already a bit old in this field. And also, even if we don't like it too much, with some creative DAX, we can allow all kind of additional things that the end users can request, and I will show you one example of this. Because end users, like we all know, can come with all kind of requirements, like show or hide columns dynamically, or dynamic format strings, or control top and displayed, or conditional formatting control. They want to conditional format only some things. Whenever I learned about conditional formatting in Power BI matrices, I said, wow, this is it. Whenever I saw some sessions, some really good sessions on conditional formatting, I said, well, this is a bit too low. We can do it better. And I will show you one example. End users can request to switch visuals from a matrix to a chart, or have dynamic X or Y axis. All kind of requests, like the dark theme. Yes, dark theme can be achieved with some DAX and some conditional formatting. I will not demo that because there are some good tutorials on the web. And in some months, I saw a preview at one of the conference last year done by Microsoft, and I know that dark theme is coming to Power BI. And also the infamous export to Excel. We all are saying or when I say we, I'm considering myself a Power BI developer now and not an Excel MVP. Whenever we hear about export to Excel, I go crazy. Even I go crazy, because this is not the end purpose. But there are some certain situations when export to Excel is needed. So just think about a company having not having enough pro licenses, or drivers on the road, which can only get some data from a certain folder. There are some situations where export to Excel is necessary, And as long as we learn how to do it correctly with analyzing Excel or all kind of additional export tables linked directly to the data model, yes, we can use it. And I'm here to vouch for that. And now I'm switching back to my Excel lover. Yes, I still love Excel as long as it's done correctly. So enough with all this talking. Let's go on the demo. And for the demo, I have let me show you the demo scenario. Well, as I said, I'm working in a manufacturing company, and the single or the most problematic thing in a manufacturing company is the line stop. Whenever the line stops, the shipment is not leaving. Well, us as developers, we cannot do much about it, but there is a second most important problem. On a manufacturing line, there are different stations where the products are tested in different stations, and whenever a product or board is failing on the production line, that board cannot be shipped. So it's more or less indirect linked to the initial plan and the shipment. So the totality of units that are failed in different stations in a manufacturing company is called bone pile. Bone pile is the term that you will see today, and the entire demo is based on a friend of mine, let's call him Tom, a production manager that was exporting on daily basis the data from the manufacturing execution system with all the boards that failed and that are waiting to be repaired and retested in different stations on the line. So the data that we're having, I have an oversimplified demo, and I will show you the file. We have snapshots of daily data. So on every day, we have a certain batch of exports that are failed, units that are failing in different stations. And Tom, my friend, was taking snapshots of this daily data, doing exports to Excel from the system, doing pivots, and then guiding the production line to solve some of the problems or focus on different stations on the line. In the end, I started with a basic Power BI report with 4 dimensions, and I will show you those dimensions right away. So, and then you will see during the demo, Tom was coming up with additional requests for flexibility, and how the demo itself will show you the tools that I've used to cater for his additional requirements. So let me show you the Excel file that I have, the simplified data set. We have a really simple data set with whenever the export was done, the production date, when the for which I'm doing the report, some details on the products like serial number, product codes, and so on. The stations, when the unit failed, in what station it failed, the unit price, and there is another important thing here, the aging, so the time between the failing board and today, because based on this, I'm having aging types or aging bins. There are certain requirements to or there are certain risk levels based on the aging. So the units that failed 2-3 days ago can be easily repaired, but whenever I'm having units over 60 days and are not repaired, this needs to be, we need to focus on. So let's go to the report. This is the data set. As I said, we have snapshots of daily data. So the production date here, it's 8th of September, 9th of August, and then 8th of August, and I have a different snapshot and so on. I also have a simple product list with the IDs, product ID, the codes, and the 3 family names, and all the reports are based on this family names, or these are the dimensions. Let me move to and show you the report that I provided. So first, instead of doing weekly or daily exports, I just went to the database with my Power BI report, and I connected to the database, and I gave Tom a simple Power BI report with the quantity that he was doing on daily basis, the total value for that day, how many stations we have where the units failed, what is the date for the report. So I always get the latest data this morning for as a snapshot for yesterday. And then I have the 4 different categories, the 4 different dimensions, like the category, the aging range, the station, and the product. And this is basically the 4 pivot charts that Tom was doing every day. When I gave him the report, this is a simple report. For us, it's really simple, but for an Excel user, having this interactivity, having the possibility to filter everything and have the cross filtering was just wow. And Tom was, wow, this is exactly what I needed. Now I don't have to do it manually. Thank you very much. You're my best friend. I said, okay. Are you sure this is okay? Yeah, totally sure. He was running the report. He was having the same report the next day with another update. And then he realized the next day and the next day, he said, yeah, it's really cool. I love it. I have it every day. But what if I need to know what happened yesterday, or 2 days ago, or 6 months ago? Is there any possibility to get some kind of history for everything? I said, yeah, sure. Of course, the data is in the database. If you need history, we can do it. Well, I would need some history about on everything. And then it came to my mind, okay, you need history, but you are having snapshots of data. If I'm showing you the data for yesterday, I will need to focus on that specific day. If I'm showing you, or if I drill up for a week, what type of data do you want to see? Because I cannot add the snapshots, the daily snapshots, and give you everything. He said, of course, I need only the latest data. And as usual, we went back and forth with some additional questions, and I had to come up with a measure to show only the latest quantity in the latest date visible in a drill down. And I presented him this report, the bomb pile history. Everything was perfect. He said, oh, I can see everything back until last September. Yes. And if I drill up, can I see the last, the last value for Q2, for example, for audio devices? If I drill up, can I see the 39 pieces at the end of May? Yeah, of course. Everything works perfectly if you drill up or drill down. And this is happening because I took this measure with some variables, calculating the last date, the maximum date where it was filtered, getting an additional table with the last dates, with adding columns on everything. I will not go into details because I will provide the file. So if you want to recreate it, there is no problem. I will send the files to Sue. And then with the 3 tests, I did a virtual relationship and then recorded everything. I calculated the row for the last date when we have data there. And he was really happy because whenever he was filtering audio devices, he could see the history for everything based on the dimensions that he had. He could see trends. He said, well, this is exactly even more than I requested. I said, okay, I'm really glad that you are happy, but are you sure this is all? Yeah, totally sure. This is perfect. I love it. Another tool that we as Power BI developers need to know is that besides the standard
I think he'll come back in a minute. He's obviously having internet issues. So what we'll do is Cristian will give me the Power BI report at the end of the session, or he'll email it overnight, and then I'll pop it into our GitHub site. So I've put the link in the meeting chat so that you'll be able to.
It's happening again.
It is, but we're don't worry, just breathe. We're all used to internet problems. You just if it goes, we'll just chat and wait for you to come back. So it's really not a problem. Are you back again? Yeah, it's okay.
I don't know what happened. Okay, thank you very much.
Don't worry, just chill, breathe, and it'll come back.
I'm okay. I'm sorry for the attendees. They are not here. They are here to see something and not having me on hold, because I'm just seeing you're on hold.
Yeah, but we all work in IT and we're all used to these type of things, so there is no problem at all. So you carry on.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, as I said, besides the tools and the techniques that we have to know and to cater for the end users, the ones that I listed in the slides, there are also some custom visuals. And here in this history page, I used very clear to me custom visual, the Zebra BI charts visual. This is really cool because it allows us to do so much more than just the normal Power BI visuals, having lots of information in the same visual and having the small multiples works much more better than the normal ones, or at least I don't have to do as many setups as the normal small multiples. Anyway, Tom, when he saw it and he saw that he has a visual that he can scroll around and do everything, he said, wow, this is perfect. I love it. And then after a few days, he said, you know what? It's really cool. I have almost everything I need, but I need something more. What do you need now? You know, from time to time, whenever I see some high numbers like these ones, I want to see the details on each of them. So here, if I see 86 numbers, 86 units in April, I know that they are in the last day of April. If I go down one level, I can see that it's in the last week of April. Let me modify the filters and take it a little bit smaller. But I want to see the details on each of them. And for details, he was asking, can I get some details? How, if you have everything there aggregated, can I get the details for each of them? I said, well, now I was playing hard. It's very difficult. It will take me 2 weeks to do it. And of course, it took me 2 hours to fix it, and it worked. And how did I fix it? Using drill through. Who in the chat here ever used drill through? I know some of you, some experienced ones. I know for sure that you've used drill through. But for the new ones, drill through is actually the possibility of going from one number like this one. Let me drill down a bit, and getting the details behind this number. Oh, Microsoft allows us. There are 3 options how to do it, and I think it's here. No, not here. Here, yeah. I'm just skipping to the initial page with the bone pile because I already set it up here. There are 3 ways of going to see the drill through. But in order to set it up, it's really easy. I will just show you how it's done. and then I'll show you the already prepared one. Whenever you want to design a drill through page, you just go with a new page, DT, let's call it like this, copy whatever you want to put on the, you want to show as drill through, and then whenever you have everything set it up as details, you just go to the page information here, and on the page type, you just change it to drill through, and here on the drill through from, you are adding the dimensions that you want to drill through by. So I want to drill through category and product and so on with all my visuals here. As you can see, I already have a back button here, and you can design your page here with the details. And whenever you want to see the details, you just go on your initial page and go to the details. Because you're not here to see me typing and building stuff, I already prepared the details page here. I have the quantity, the value, the number of stations. And if I'm going on the initial page that I showed to Tom, there are, as I said, there are three possibilities to go to see the to access the drill through. One of them is just hover over a bar or a chart whenever you are setting the drill through, and having this button with the modern tooltip. Another one, this is not very discoverable. Another even less discoverable way of using drill through is just right click on a bar. Let's say I want to see this 4 units. What's behind it? Well, here we have a even smaller button with drill through, but I can go to details and the entire page will filter to those 4 units that were there. And if I go back, there is another much more visible and much more useful option for the end users, is creating a button. So inserting a button like this one, blank button usually, not a bookmark. I'm saying black and I'm clicking the other one and assigning an action here on the format pane, assigning a drill through button, and then the destination just go with details. I only see details here because details is the only page that was set it up as drill through page. Well, I already did that, so I will delete this one. I'm only showing you how it's done. If you're clicking any button here, I have a button here which is already visible only when one of the features, one of the fields that can be drilled through with is active. And whenever I'm clicking the details, I see the exact same thing. And as I said, I did set it up this page, but as you can see here, I'm adding many more dimensions, all the dimensions that I'm interested into drilling through by. So if I want to see details by product, I can do it. If I want to see details by aging range, I can do it, and so on. So whenever I showed Tom this, he was, "Ooh, this is even better. Now I have everything that I needed. I will not bother you anymore." So this is my last request. And then he said, after 2 more weeks, he said, "Cristi, you know what? I had a meeting with our customer, and our customer is not checking the aging bins just like we are doing it. He's having different aging range risks, aging bins differently, and we are not on the same page. I need to be able to modify this. Can I modify it and do it myself and not letting you modify?" I said, "Well, yes, you can do it if we do some tricky stuff in Power Query. I can allow you to do it." "What do you mean?" "Whenever you want to modify the aging bins, you can just go in an Excel file," I told him, "and you can modify the bins. And then whenever the report is refreshed, you will see the new ones. I cannot believe it. Show me. I went on my desk and did everything. You wanted to say something, Sue?
Yeah, just a quick question before you get to the next bit. Eric
Sure.
was asking, how did you hide the details button with a measure looking at filters when you were showing the drill through? Just before you get to the next bit.
This one.
Yeah, how do you activate the button from showing or not showing?
The button is still there. So it's a trick of colors. That's all. So the button is there.
Okay,
I'm
but
just
how do you
using
what's your trick?
Yeah, here
format.
on the button style here, you just go with text and to fill, and on the inactive, let me go on the disabled. I'm using the fill, the same fill like the background here. See this one?
Yeah, but the question is, you clicked one of the bars, and
Yeah.
then the button appeared. Why would that? Why
Because
does it appear?
I'm just changing the format whenever it's enabled. Let me go again to it.
So you've got
so
your
apply
conditional
settings for disabled. So whenever it's disabled, so I'm not clicking anything. These are the colors. Whenever is the default, I have different settings. I have a different field color here
That part
and
is clear,
different
but
text.
how do you enable it? Why does it get enabled when you click a slicer?
Because here on the button style, I just set it as the type as a drill through, and whenever you are doing it, it just appears. And let me show you.
Oh,
Insert
I
another one.
hadn't seen that,
button.
Cristian, where you can, because all the buttons have all changed quite recently. So I hadn't seen that you could set a button to be activated as a drill through button. Hadn't seen that. I'd missed that in the latest visuals as well, Eric.
Let me modify this one, button style. Default, let me put it, get some tests. I'm going off the track, Sue, and I don't like it. Line color like this.
this is the good part.
Yeah, okay, no problem. This is why we are here, to learn. And here on the, whenever it's disabled, I'm just putting no text. And let me put, I don't know, left arrow here. So this one is not active until I'm doing the drill through. Did I assign it as a drill through?
I don't
I
recall
can't
you seeing
remember.
it a drill through.
Okay, but what you're saying is
haven't
once
set-
the drill through at X. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, I haven't set the destination. So see, even now, I didn't do
Excellent.
anything.
Okay, hey,
No.
many thanks for that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
working.
So it's understanding that you have the drill through option to set the button as a drill through option is I think is fairly new, because I can't recall seeing that the button comes up. And I think
at least 2 years. At least 2 years.
Ooh.
At least, if not longer.
Right.
The tricky part is here in the button style, the formatting, because sometimes you get mixed into colors and everything, and this is why I'm using it. But whenever you are setting the action as a drill through, you have to also give the destination. So you might have different drill through pages, set it up. So you can have even as a destination, you can even set conditional drill throughs using DAX. So if you have 2 pages, page 1 and page 2, you can have a DAX based on the whatever you selected to either go to page 1 or page 2. So it's even more complicated or dynamic if you want to go into details with it.
Yeah, I'd be very quick, but I think there's just so many changes, it's almost impossible to keep on top of them. But I used to do this Workout Wednesday. Every Wednesday they do a Power BI visualization challenge, and I did it for about a year, and I've sort of lost it for a bit. So I need to get back into that, because the visualizations are just changing at a tremendous rate. So anyway, we will stop and let you carry on. Thank you.
Miguel Myers is working relentlessly to modify the visualizations. And speaking of this, I'm getting a shameless plug here. Miguel is coming to ROPAG in May, I think, to show us the future of the visualizations in Power BI.
Perfect.
So I will, whoever is interested, just go to the meetup page on Romania Power BI.
I'll put it in the thing. I'll put it in the thing.
Thank you.
Okay.
So coming back to the session tonight, on the rail, you're on mute, Sue, now, if you wanted to say something.
Just saying, Christy, you don't get kicked out for pasting a link. There's no competition. Lots of love and support. Go on, I'll stop now.
So, as I said, Tom said, it's everything I needed, but I'm not on the same page with my customer. We are tracking different aging bins, and it's not okay. He's checking only in bins of 3 days, and I'm having 15 days here, 15 to 30, and so on. Can I do it separately? Can I change my own bins depending on the request and whoever I'm talking from the customer? I said, yes, we can do it using an Excel file that you can have as an input for the bins. And what I did, and let me show you how I did it. Here in the data set, I also have another table, which is called True Aging Range External. And I have some different data sets here, different bins. And of course, everything is done, so it works flawlessly. So I'm modifying the bin ranges from 0 to 3, from 3 to 7, and so on, saving the file, closing it, and then refresh my Power BI report, and everything should refresh. If it's refreshing correctly, first time I have to cancel. I don't know, whoever knows why do I have to cancel first, please let me know, because it's not working as I'm expecting. And as soon as the Power BI report is refreshing, I did some modifications, or I did everything dynamic in the backend, and you will have access to that to this report and the sample file. Everything changes dynamically. So if Tom wanted to have only 2 bins here, yes, it can be done only with 2 bins, 2 ranges. And everything is coming on his own will from outside Power BI, regardless of what the dimensions, the initial dimensions were in the report. Well, he said, I love it. Now everything is exactly as I wanted. Well, except it wasn't, because he just realized that he has the aging, the details, and everything. But he said, in the discussions that I had with the customer, he said that we have to set up some conditions, and whenever we have to set some targets and highlight the categories or the stations where we have a certain amount of units that are above that target. So whenever, let's say here on the functional test, whenever I have more than 100 days, in the normal data set, the list of stations, it's much longer than this one. Whenever there is a limit of units in a certain station, I need to highlight it directly on the page and know exactly which station or which product is hitting that target. Well, I said, okay, we can do it, and we can do it dynamically. So you will be able to change the targets, because if we hard code the target, you will not be able to switch or cater for whatever the customer is saying. And in order to do it, I'm using the what if parameters. So if I'm going here to model, and the new parameters here. See, here there is an option with numeric range. This is the what if parameter that I said at the beginning. And here it's really easy. I will just call it demo target. A data type, yeah, it's a whole number. Let's put it from 10 to 500 units with an increment of 5. And I'm just pushing OK, leaving this button, adding the slicer to the page so I can show you what's happening when I'm adding this parameter. So whenever I'm adding this parameter, I do have the slicer here. I can modify it from 10 in increments of 5 as I wanted. And here, in the same time, this was actually created. This is actually creating a table in the backend. So if I go to data view and I go to demo target, see, it's only a table with values. It's really, really easy. Function generate series from 10 to 500 in increments of 5. But besides this table, Power BI created for me a measure which is called demo target value. Well, this demo target value is, which is actually the selection of what we are getting in that slices. For the conditional formatting, this is the measure that I used. And let me delete this and show you what I already prepared. Delete from model and also delete the slicer. Yeah, I already have the slicer here. This is the slicer that I'm having, and this is getting data. It's called target, and that's it. And the target value is this one, exactly as I showed you earlier. This is the one. Well, selecting this value, if I'm doing, I went too low, and I was showing you a bit too early. So if I'm adding a card value here on the page, what did I do? Control Z. I want to add a card and put this target value on this card. This is getting the exact same value that I'm selecting here. So using this value, I just created another measure. So I'm deleting that one. I created another measure, a conditional format target, a really simple one, this one. So if the bone pile quantity, the other measure that I created earlier, is less than the target value, my measure here, what do you think is this? This is a hex color. So DAX know how to use hex codes for colors besides the normal ones that are already recognized, like red or blue or black or so on. So I'm doing a conditional format target measure, which is checking if the bone pile quantity is less than the target value. And if it is, I'm having one color. If it's not, I'm getting red. And this measure, I'm using it to conditionally format the bars that I need just by going to the format pane here. Through not this one. What happened? This one. Yeah, let's go here and go to this one. I'm going to the bars. I have a conditional format here, and I go to color. So normally you can set up a color, but if we have this FX button here, we can use DAX measure for formatting. So I'm choosing this. I will conditionally format the bars based on a field value, and from here I'm just selecting my measure, conditional format target. And now whenever the number that I'm selecting here is less than the number that we have in the bar that I'm applying the conditional formatting. So if let's go with 20, for example, this one should go under the target. So everything highlights dynamically based on the selection that the end user is doing here. Of course, I can set it up on any chart that is supporting conditional formatting like this. Here, for example, on the color, I will just go with field value, conditional format. And this chart will also obey the rules. Let's say it like this.
That's nice.
When Tom saw that.
Yeah, you see the consistency of the colors, and you define the measure the ones. Yeah. Just say you got 10 minutes. You wanted to know.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I need to hurry then. Whenever I showed this, he said, it's really cool, I love it, but I still need one more thing. The additional one thing was, of course, he didn't need only the quantities, because some of the units that are in BOMPILE are more expensive than others. So we are not only counting units there, we are actually pushing for the values that we have there. In order to do this, I needed, in order to show the values on the charts, I didn't want to duplicate the pages and have everything using, so replicate the charts and using the BOMPILE value measure, because I already have it. So if we are checking the BOMPILE value here, it's exactly what I did for the BOMPILE quantity, checking the value for the last date with lineage, but summing up the unit price, because each line is having a single unit and I'm having the price there. So in order to switch it dynamically and not duplicate the column, I needed to use another tool that Power BI is giving us. If we go here to modeling and new parameter here, we have the fields parameter. Whenever I'm setting a fields parameter, let's put it like this, calculations demo, and show you quickly how it's done. We can just search for the BOMPILE quantity and edit and BOMPILE value. I'm just clicking it. I'm also keeping this slicer to the page, and whenever I'm doing this, I'll get the slicers with the two measures that I selected, but as nothing is linked to my charts, this is also creating a table like this one, and then from this table we have a field here, the calculation demo, that we need to drag inside the charts that we want to use on. Because we are short on time, I will delete this and I will page that I did, and inside my chart, inside my chart, I'm on the x-axis. I'm not using the BOMPILE quantity here. I'm using the calculation that I have from the field parameter, this one. So whenever I'm changing the parameter, the slicer that I had this time is the dropdown, I'm changing the BOMPILE quantity or the BOMPILE value, everything on the page changes. So I don't have to replicate the page and have the hassle of keeping up to date everything. He said, wow, this is perfect. Can we have a numeric value parameter? Yes, we can do it. I will not show you. I didn't even do it here. So we can set conditional formatting for values too, and not only for numbers. But in the end, he said, it's perfect. But on some of the charts, I don't want to see the stations like they are here, I want to have it dynamically. So I need to change the y-axis. So from station, I need to change it to products or to something else. Can we do it? I said, yes, we can do it. And we can do it exactly with the same type of thing. Field parameters is not only using measures, it's also using dimensions. And I will show you quickly. If I go to modeling and new parameter, fields, and I will put dimensions. Then let's keep it like this. I go to products. I can go with categories, products, and so on. Again, I will get a slicer with whatever dimension I want to build and include it exactly like I included the calculations in the charts. And I already have it prepared, is this dimension field parameter, which is actually this one, is this one. So here I have a column called dimension, and on some of the charts, it's exactly like the numeric fields or the measures. He said that I love it, but I don't want to have it dynamic on all the charts, so I only have one chart dynamic. And I said, okay, we can do it. So here on y-axis, I just change it to use the dimension, and whenever I needed to change everything by category or by product, everything changes, including the title here. So everything is dynamic. So I would have some additional stuff to show you. One small thing I want to show you, because it's our job as developers to do it. There is one trick that I've used. So everything was done here in the history again. So I used calculations in dimensions, the field parameters. Everything changes dynamically. If I want to change the dimensions, the entire history changes. But for most of the reports that I'm doing, I'm adding an info page. So an info page, I'm just doing all kind of information about the data source, about the refresh time and so on. And I found out something recently, and I wanted to show you this. I can even use a small videos to guide the end users how to use those. So you will have the file, you can play with it, but whenever you hover over one of the buttons here, I just pasted a GIF and to show the end users how to personalize a visual or how to save a personal bookmark and so on. You can even provide steps and so on. So it's something that I totally recommend to all of us to do and help the users. Besides giving them what they want, help them do use the report, because everybody is a Power BI user, not only us that are building the reports. So coming back to the slides quickly for the grand finale. We were talking about flexibility, all kind of end user requests. I didn't even go to all the requests, all the real requests that Tom was giving to me. And then on some of the tools, we went through quickly on how some of the tools that we have in our toolbox we can use and cater for the all kind of requests from the end users. And there are two types of Power BI developers: those who think I know better, and there are many of them around the world, and those like us that are here in this kind of sessions, who listen and empower the end users and try to always learn something new and make sure that the end users are actually using the reports that they are building and not just doing them as they are. So as my best practices in the end, I'm not saying these are the best practices. please make sure whenever you are building Power BI reports, get good business requirements. Try to get involved from the beginning on the get involved early in developing Power BI reports. Analyze the request and ask for clarification. How should I say it? The best part in gathering requirements for me is that I can ask a lot of questions and learn how the business is running. By understanding how a requirement, why a requirement is done, most often the end users will realize that they don't want that. They need something else. So asking the right questions, giving them the pros and the cons for each request is helping a lot. As I said, on most of my reports, the ones that I'm giving for the end users, not the one that I'm building for myself, I'm trying to include an info page. If you can include GIFs or additional info on the report that can help the end users knowing about the refresh schedule, the version of the file, whoever did the additional request meanwhile, and so on, please do it in an info page. Include documentation and guidance for the end users so that your report is actually used and not just thrown away. And as a general thing, allow for flexibility, but think about performance. Not all the requests or all the tools that we have in our tool belt will are performant. Let's say it like this. So you have to, we have to know exactly what to put, what to add, and what to do, considering performance. Here are some resources about field parameters, disconnected tables, and so on. I will send, as I said, I will send the files to Sue. She will put them in the GitHub repo. Thank you very much. I'm only 1 minute late, but you were 4 minutes too much. And I also had... Thank
cheeky,
you for hosting me, Sue.
So cheeky.
Thank you, everyone who is still here. And I hope you learned something new today. At least one thing new.
You got
Feel free.
So many claps and applause and everything. That was a fabulous session. Thank you, Cristian. And having to deal with all of the technical issues with the Wi-Fi, it was a real, I would say,
try to finish.
Yes, and you finished on time and with humor, and you made us laugh, and everybody learned something. So it was absolutely brilliant. Well done. And for stepping in at short notice, thank you so much.
No problem. Anytime.
It's really lovely because I know Cristian spent a huge amount of time preparing this session for SQL Bits. And when you do spend so much time, you deliver it, and then you have this amazing resource that you want to then, you know, share, that you've spent so much love on and you know, teaching and sharing that knowledge, but with such humor. I loved it. Even if I went 4 minutes over. There's not many people that would get away with talking to me like that, Cristian, would they, Henrique? I've seen you come on there. Henrique's nodding. He refuses to let me click on buttons now. Don't click.
You know me by now, so.
I do.
Yeah, I know I was a bit off, but there is one more thing I want to mention to everyone. If you were paying attention, the data set is starting from 2022, and the refresh on the report, the entire data set is brought to date. So it was dynamic up to today. You will find a step inside the Power Query on the bone pile query in the backend. You will find a step, or actually 2 steps from there, and then the calendar dynamically, how to get any data set up to date. I hate it. I totally hate it to work with AdventureWorks from 2004 or 10 or 20 or whatever. And especially when using functions like use relationships and so on, when you have to plan for deliveries in the future and so on. And for all my data sets that are old, I'm always using this technique and having a dynamic calendar, so everything refreshes together, so I can bring everything to date and have a fresh report every time. So whenever I'm clicking refresh, everything is up to date.
Perfect. So
You'll
it'll
find
be
it in the Power
yeah.
Query part.
So I think that's it, because Cristian's such a expert in Power Query. It'll be really interesting. Take his report to pieces and learn from it. So brilliant. Thank you. If you email that over, I'll pop it into the GitHub site.
I will.
I put the GitHub in the chat, but if you look on the meetup group, it's there as well. So a huge thank you very much. And just we have our session next week is Marjolaine, which is, I hope I've pronounced it correctly, Marjolaine, which is customized JSON theme. So I'm really looking forward to that, because it can just save you so much time. I hope you've had a great day, everybody, and a great rest of the day for those of you in the States. And Takimi has very kindly put all of the links there for us. So I'll pop that out in the chat, and we've put in the links to the ROPUG as well, so that we can all share the learning. And if there's not any questions, I'll stop recording now, and you've got 5 minutes to chit chat.
Well done, Cristian.
Recording is off.
Yeah.